Well, let's move on to the hockey, and the big story of the day, really, Sam Spooner, is that the Bridgewater's mixed plate final, which was due to go ahead tomorrow, is now no longer going ahead, but it's only been postponed. It's not been cancelled. I'll let you fill us in on the details.
Yeah, it seems in the semi-final, Backers B have fielded an ineligible player. So whilst the MHA complete their investigation and discuss potential ramifications of the rule being broken, they've decided to postpone it. They were only informed of the ineligible player last night, so it's not really enough time for them to discuss it and really provide a proper outcome to it. So it's going to be postponed for at least a week.
So how much do we know about this? Do we know the player involved? Do we know the severity of the breach?
I don't. It could quite easily be a simple admin error, so it could be they haven't been transferred from one backers team to another backers team in time or properly. It could be that they've played for another team previously in the cup or the plate. We don't know the seriousness of it so far. If it is a serious offence, then you could see the other semi-finalists that Backers B played against Backers C being in the cup final, in the plate final against Ramsey A. But until we know the outcome of the MHA investigation, we really can't say what's going to happen.
Surely, though, playing devil's advocate, and I do appreciate you possibly don't know all the ins and outs just yet, there'll be some people out there saying if a Backers team have broken the rules, have breached the rules, then there shouldn't be a Backers team, even if it is Backers C, who haven't broken any rules, that team specifically, but a Backers team shouldn't be in the plate final.
Well, if you look at the side of the draw that they've come from, it's all Backers. It's a Backers Colts team, it's a Backers C team, and then the Backers B team in the plate final. So there's not really much, I don't think, can be done about that, apart from maybe simply awarding the plate to Ramsey A, which would be a really, really sad state of affairs if that was to happen. I really want to see this game. It would be a huge game. It would probably be the highlight of the day, probably be the closest out of the plate in the cup finals anyway. So I think, for me, the proper thing to do would be a warning, maybe, and let them play the game. You know, it's going to be a competitive game. It would be good publicity for Manx hockey, and it would be played in the right way as well.
And it's a shame for Ramsey A as well, because they have been playing, I think, above expectations this season. They've confirmed third place, which in their first season back in the Premier League is a big achievement for them. They'd have loved to have capped that off with some silverware.
Yeah, I've been expecting Ramsey to break through that sort of ceiling of the top three since early season when I saw their form and I saw the way they were playing their hockey. It's very direct, very, very quick, and they immediately put the defence on the back foot. So I've been expecting them to almost break through the season. I didn't quite expect them to beat Valkyries A twice this season, which is incredible performances from Ramsey A. But yeah, I think if Ramsey A are going to be disappointed that they're not going to be playing it as well. They would have fancied their chances in all honesty. Backers B will probably go into that as underdogs. But that being said, I think it would still be a very close game.
And I think no matter what, Ramsey A will like to play the final. They won't want to be given the trophy without winning it fairly themselves.
I don't think anybody wants to win a final without actually playing in it. It's an event. The whole finals, the fact that it's not going to be played on what's our finals day, it's an event for the whole of Manx hockey. You get a large crowd of Manx hockey players, of spectators down there watching them, and it's probably the only time, and it could be one of the only times, that they actually get a good number of people watching a game of hockey that they're involved in. It really gets you pumped up, and it's a really good experience.
Do we have any idea of when this issue will be cleared up and when we will get the final played? Could it be a situation arises where we get a 2017 Bridgewater's mixed plate champion in 2018?
Potentially, I would expect it, given that most hockey is due to finish this weekend. I think there's 1 or 2 games left as a hangover from the snow last week. But I would expect it probably be played next week, if at all. They should. I don't think the MHA will take long in their deliberations.
Well, if you are just joining us, this is the news that the Bridgewater's mixed plate tomorrow afternoon, it was scheduled for a 25-1 pushback, and that's now been postponed whilst the MHA investigates a potential rule breach by Backers B. So that's not going ahead. But fear not, hockey fans, because there is still some action. The main event, if you like, the Bridgewater's Mixed Cup, Bacchus A against Valkyries A. Valkyries A getting there after a win on Wednesday night. 6-0 they won, but the scoreline I don't think reflected the full story. A very hard-fought game for Valkyries A there. They beat Harlequins 6-0. Somebody missed a sitter in the first half for Quins. Don't know who that was. I take it you're expecting Bacchus A to get the job done, to lift the trophy at the end of the day, because they are favourites. They've won the league and, they've got everything going for them. All the stats are there. They've beaten Valkyries A twice in the league this season, scoring 12 goals in the process.
Yeah, all the facts that I've got from... I've had some team news from both teams. If Bacchus were to win tomorrow, I believe that's their 5th League and Cup double in the mixed on the bounce. So they have to go into it as favourites. They have been the team to beat for a number of years now. And they're back to full strength. The Carl Moore's back, fully recovered from a calf strain that he suffered against Keswick in the English Hockey Championship. And just a side note as well, Andrew Vernon Brown is his last game on the Isle of Man before he leaves the island in the new year. So good luck to Andy, AVB, and we'll miss you. Some other information, Valkyries A, completely the opposite to Bacchus A. They are missing some key personnel through injury, being off island. Leanne Prescott is injured. Tim Stevenson is actually off island this weekend. And Carmina Cavander is a question mark. She's suffered a suspected broken finger, which is a huge loss. She scored some vitally important goals for Valkyries this year. So
I think she got a couple on Wednesday, actually. Was that injury sustained on Wednesday night?
I don't know. The news I've got is that it's suspected broken finger, so I don't know when it would have happened. But, hockey players traditionally always get a broken finger at some point in their careers.
Soldier on. Touch wood, I haven't had one just yet. But that's a big loss, and this will be a big blow to Valkyries, because they're up against it anyway, against a Bacchus A who seem to have been destroying anybody in their path. And to have these key players missing in such a big game is a big blow to them.
It is a big blow, but you know what? Every time Bacchus play Valkyries, it's a hugely spicy game, and it'll be a great game to watch tomorrow. And I'll be down to watch it, and I expect fireworks, even if the scoreline doesn't really suggest it's close in any way, shape or form. Valkyries will put absolutely everything into this, as will Bacchus, but Valkyries don't hate losing to Bacchus. Everybody hates losing to Bacchus.
I think everyone hates losing, full stop. Discussing this game, of course, there should be a bumper crowd now that 22 players who were to take to the field beforehand are now no longer in action. They should hopefully be watching. I mean, if you do have a free afternoon, it's at the NSC tomorrow, so please do go along. Bacchus A, though, in their semi-final, it was too close for comfort, I think, for many. They only won by a single goal, 1-0 against Vikings A. Is there a potential for a slip-up, or can you not see that happening?
That was probably the best game of hockey I have ever seen in Manx hockey. It was close, end to end. Both teams had a multitude of chances, but it was Bacchus who got their major chance away. Vikings had a number of short corners that they just could not put away. The defensive performance from Bacchus was extraordinary. That being said, Bacchus probably edged that game as it stood. But they didn't play any worse than they played all season. Vikings really stepped up to the plate in that game and played probably the best hockey they've played in a number of years. And I can't see Valkyries stepping up to that level, unfortunately.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. That is the Bridgewater's Mixed Cup, which takes place tomorrow at the NSC, and we will be bringing you updates here on Manx Radio. And there's then a break for all hockey players, a refreshing break for them until the new year when the men's and ladies formats begin.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice sort of 3-4 week break over the Christmas period, fatten up a bit, recover from our bumps or bruises. Although it's only sort of 10 to 14 games a season for clubs, hockey's quite a demanding sport and can take it out of you, and we all look forward to the Christmas break and a few drinks and quite a lot of food.
Festive cheer, I think that's what you call it. So Bacchus A against Valkyries A tomorrow, 2:05 at the NSC. That's the Mixed Cup final. The Mixed Plate, though, once again, just to let you know, that is off 25-1. That was due to pushback. Bacchus B against Ramsey A. That is now no longer going ahead tomorrow. And then a nice break for hockey players. Andrew Vernon Brown is heading off Ireland, so all the best to him, and a speedy recovery to Carmina Cavander as well. And Sam Spooner, you've got a Christmas meal tonight, so I'll let you get off. And if I don't see you before, have a very good Christmas.
Good Merry Christmas.